Having successfully launched 3 businesses, bilingual mum to 2 and entrepreneur Antonia Bowes-Brown has connected with thousands of people, both French and international, since moving to the French Riviera. These connections allow her to speak with successful local businesses and inspirational people about life here on the Côte d'Azur and share it with you. Welcome to the Riviera Firefly podcast with your host, entrepreneur, and my mum, Antonia Bowes-Brown.
Hello, Riviera Firefly. Well, following from the footsteps of the fine wine suppliers to the yachts of last week, up next we've got the sausage lady Antibes, Emma Orr. I'm really loving meeting these entrepreneurs, and you know what? It's even more of a bonus for me to see these female CEOs. CEO sounds like a grand title, doesn't it, when you're an auto-entrepreneur or you're just working for yourself. But think about it. You're marketing, you're negotiating, you're doing customer service, sales, you're dealing with customer problems, the telephone, the financials. You're preparing things for your accountant. You're doing all the French administration. You really are the CEO of a big company. You might not have loads of staff, but that is what you are. I met a great group of such women recently. I basically hosted a free workshop for auto entrepreneurs, and we did a little session working on our mindset, because we all have it, and also figuring out what our strategy was going to be for 2018. So we're working on 12-week goals. It's more achievable that way than having a goal for the whole year, because you kind of forget that goal, don't you, as you go through the year. Come and join some of us. We're in a free group. It's called the Firefly Cocoon on Facebook. So facebook.com/groups/Firefly Cocoon. And you can come and meet and connect with people like Vonnie Marshall-Edwards. She was in episode 26. I interviewed her. Great voice coach, and has been teaching singing and techniques to 3 people now who've been on The Voice and The Voice Kids. I've also chatted with Christine Kadelberg. She was in episode 24. Well, you can find her too in the Firefly Cocoon. And also there's Faye Villalba, which you would have heard a couple of times. I remember in episode 19 we were talking in the summer. She again hangs out in the Firefly Cocoon. And these are all people who are working on their businesses, working on the goals, the growth, and they're figuring out ideas for visibility. And they are ready to challenge 2018. I must give a shout out to Kate Threadgold. She's got some self-care massage vouchers ready to send to anyone that's looking for that extra special gift. Go and look at her website. She's got some great workshops coming up in 2018. If you actually go into the free community group Cote d'Azur Living and you search voucher in the little box on the left hand side, you'll find a thread that I put in there a little while ago, and there's loads of ideas. If you're looking for that voucher, why don't you tag your husband or your partner or your teenager, anyone that might be looking for ideas for presents, tag them and they'll be able to go and get some ideas from that thread. I'm a strong believer in supporting local businesses. Partly because I'm fed up dealing with the big businesses. You know, you're not having great customer service from them, whereas with local businesses, you tend to have a lot better customer service. And that's why I'm running these free Facebook groups and this podcast, in fact, which to you, the user, is entirely free. Voila. Anyway, on to Emma Orr. So Emma Orr, well, as she knew, she nearly fell to the floor when I told her I was vegetarian. She was like, what are you doing here? I had a real blast with her. And of course, I live with 2 carnivores and they have to be kept happy. Their stomachs need to be full of meat. So I had a real blast chatting to her. It's a little shop just off Place de Gaulle in Antibes. I actually went in with my mum. I dragged my mum along in case I needed some meat knowledge from her, because she knows a bit more than me. Emma really knows her stuff though, so we didn't need my mum in the end. What I loved about her story was that she saw a need 4 years ago and just really got stuck in and did it, and has set up So-Sij. So it's spelled phonetically So-Sij. And that is an incredible achievement. You know, she came over with only a smattering of French, and dealing with food making and the laws and the health and safety, I just can't imagine what that's like. It probably is similar to the childcare industry, but it's a whole different industry. So hats off to you, Emma. I was really, really impressed. She's 4 years in, doing fantastically, and I had to buy some of the goodies while I was there and get them back to Mr. Beebe and Master L, and they just want me to go back down to Antibes, basically. So here's to you, Emma. Thank you ever so much for a really fun moment down in your shop in Antibes, and fingers crossed for a successful and positive Christmas period and into 2018. Get your turkey orders now. Hi Emma.
Hi there, Antonia.
I'm down here in Antibes in So-Sij, which is the phonetical spelling, so So-Sij. I love it, it's such a clever name. How did you come up with it?
Well, I thought the sausage itself was going to be... It was because I was in Europe, and I thought, well, what word could I come up with that everybody, no matter what language you speak, will get it. Not as many people get it as I thought. I thought it was a stroke of genius, and that's it. I've got the whole world.
I think it is a stroke of genius. It just takes time for people to catch up with ideas, doesn't it? Yeah, brilliant. So, So-Sij, we're down here in Antibes, and this is sort of the sausage factory of the Cote. Yeah?
I'd like to hope so, yes.
And you've been going about 4 years?
Yeah, I've had the shop 4 years. I did about a year, 18 months, using a kitchen at another facility to test the water, see how life would be. I thought when I first came it would just be for the summer and expats for barbecues, and that I'd be going home in winter. But then I discovered boats.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so you supply to boats as well?
Yes, so I supply to the boats, yes, so over winter. It's good crew food.
Absolutely, and I would say one of my husband's most disappointing things of having come here was the fact that he couldn't have the sausages, that you're used to back in England. That I'm a vegetarian, right? So I did tell you that before, and you were like, "What? Why are you here?" But the problem is that I live with two avid carnivores. So I thought, and it's obviously coming up to Christmas now. We're recording this just at the end of November 2017. So I thought I'd come and find out what you guys are doing, and really impressed. I love the list of all the things that are available coming up for Christmas. So turkeys and sausage in blankets, so not just for Christmas though, right?
Pigs in blankets, no, we eat them all year round at So-Sij.
Pork chops, again, they're things that are quite difficult for us to find in the regular butchers, aren't they?
Yeah, the thing was that I've expanded from just sausages because as people request, and how I make my sausages is essentially that I buy, some people will really not be comfortable with this, but I buy half a pig, so that way I can take out the loin to make dry cured back bacon, and generally then I hand bone the rest of the meat, so as there's no tubes, no bad meat, no gunk, no bones, no nasty bits in my sausages. But within that, obviously, I do have the availability to have pork chops with crackling-able skin, as we call it at So-Sij. You can have rolled shoulder, crackling-able skin, pork belly. So all the cuts of pork that you miss in the UK, primarily with the skin on, which I'll score so as it crackles up lovely, you can get here as well, yeah.
And were you a butcher back in England? What was the background? Or
No, I grew up on a farm and my degree's in farming, but I was actually a PA. I've had various jobs in my career, but I was a PA office manager, and that's how I knew the south of France, because I kind of used to work remotely for people like hedge fund owners who were planning European trips, and I'd sort out their travel and such like. But I was always bringing sausages for friends. And then change of events, and I was like, right, how do I live in the south of France full time? I know, I shall make sausages. So I've always been a home cook, and I make Scotch eggs, and really people are quite surprised that you make Scotch eggs. How do you do it? As if there's a great mystery. But really, after cupcakes, Scotch eggs were the second thing my mum taught me to make. So I've been making them since I was about 6 years old. My trusting mother, me in a pan of hot fat. Yeah.
Brilliant. And I don't think I've ever made a Scotch egg in my life.
Yeah.
No. Okay, so you make all these things and you're selling them to the yachts and things, but who comes in here?
Anybody and everybody.
Mainly all Anglophone, or do you...
No, I have a surprisingly large number of French customers. They love it, and they really embrace it. Some get quite excited by the different flavours, and they also think that all English sausages are like my sausages. But again, there is no bones, no nasty meat, and it's really nicely ground. So they think all English sausages are superbly brilliant. But the best ones are the French. If they've ever been to England and they walk past the shop and they'll come in and go, "You have the Scottish egg." But anybody and everybody. Some people come in weekly, they have sausages once a week, toad in the hole, or, like a cassoulet. Some people just come in once a month and totally stock up and take them home and freeze them. But really, it's a broad. I have Swedes come in, English, New Zealand.
And you do bacon as well?
Dry cured back bacon,
proper
yes.
Bacon.
Yes.
I know that's been a real problem in our house, has been trying to find proper bacon.
Yeah, I call it gluten-free bacon. When you cook it, you don't get any of the white stuff come out in the pan. Basically, the weight you put in the pan is the weight you will eat. It will not shrink. So, yeah, and I make that here.
And you seem to play up to the theme of meat quite well, because I love some of our email exchanges about, well, I've probably gone into spam. So you play the meat theme really well. I thought it was really funny. So, okay, well, before you came here, whereabouts were you living in England?
I'm from Nottinghamshire. I'm from Sherwood Forest, pretty much. I grew up on a farm in Sherwood Forest, and then I lived quite a long time down in London. But it was when I ended up on a turkey farm in Birmingham. I was a PA on a turkey farm in Birmingham, which was obviously the low point of my life. But I said, I'm going to France. I just can't be here any longer. I'm off.
But the turkeys were still in your head as some kind of vision that you needed to bring them over here.
I tried to get away from them, but they've caught up with me, yes.
And you're selling turkeys this year. What's your kind of final date for people to order turkeys for? When do they need to order by?
If you want a guaranteed weight, and please remember that French turkeys are not as big as British turkeys. You will not get a 12-kilo turkey here. The white turkeys, they go up to about like 8-9 kilos, and the fermier, the black turkeys, they really only go to about 6 kilos. To guarantee your weight, you'd be looking at the 5th of December. You can order that after that, but if you wanted a particularly large bird, you might struggle.
Okay, that's good to know. And what about, I was saying to you, my dad's celiac, he has to eat gluten-free. So what do you do for gluten-free?
I do gluten-free sausages, yes. I'm very aware of celiacs and I fear contamination, so generally, if it can be done, I actually make gluten-free sausages on a separate day to totally eliminate any risk of cross-contamination. But yeah, you can have any of the flavours gluten-free, be it breakfast, be it something more exotic, leek, caramelised red onion and marmalade, whatever. Yeah, so I've made gluten-free for a lady today. She's having her cocktail sausages for Christmas, gluten-free. Some sausage meat so she can season it up for her own stuffing, and then just some sausages in case they run out of food over Christmas.
So because that's becoming more and more now. You're seeing more and more people eating gluten-free, so partly for health, but also for its kind of more trend on trend, isn't it? Vegetarian sausages, not yet.
I have made them. If people quite often a boat might put in an order and they'll go, we've got 2 or 3 vegetarians, Emma, can you make us something? So I have made them to order. They pretty much generally are a play on cheese. There's a fair amount of cheese going, but vegan sausages, I'm afraid.
Too hard, yeah. It's very difficult to get anything vegetarian here. You can get corn now in some of the British supermarkets, like corn sausages or Linda McCartney. That's about it. But it is.
Yeah. I did make a lovely one, which was wild mushroom and walnut.
Oh yeah.
And even I laid into that one. I mean, yeah. So yeah, you can if you ask, but I'm afraid you will have to order, a dozen or so, and they don't work out really much cheaper than a pork sausage because, as I say, cheese, the sort of ingredients that you put in a vegetarian sausage, say like mushroom and walnut. But I do make, yes.
And so 4 years of working here, what's been the biggest challenge of running a kind of effectively an English business here in France?
Not being fluent in French and just trying to get your head around France.
All the French administration.
I really know. The moment you think you know it and you've cracked it, there's something else will come up. I mean, because living... Everybody's always passing on tips, but there are never enough tips. Some wet days you wake up going, what are they going to get me with today? You just never... But when you get through the day and nothing's happened, you're like, oh, maybe there is a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, I think I felt the same actually, is that no month over, year on year doesn't ever seem the same.
No.
No pattern.
Just... obviously I've got with hygiene and labelling, you come up with things and you think, right, I've nailed it, and they go, no, that's not quite right, or just, having an accountant, receipts, petty cash. Well, I speak to people who've had businesses here years and they go, Emma, don't worry, you'll just have it for life. As long as you're here, there'll be always something that gets thrown up. And talking to quite a few French people, they go, yeah, don't worry, we find it as well.
What about big highs? So where were the moments where you've gone, it's all been worth it?
The highs are very strange. because they can come from the littlest thing. I have people come in, say like French people come in, and they'll say, oh, we went to my friend's house the other night, he's another French person, and we had your sausages. I thought they made. So French people recommending me and somebody coming in and telling me how much they like my product, that's a real high, that's quite a buzz. It's just when people tell me stories. I had somebody freighted my sausages to the Falklands Islands because the boss liked them. I do have some celebrity clients, that's always a bit of a buzz. It mainly comes from feedback. That's the best bit.
And you have a Facebook page, which is?
So-Sij, as spelled S-O, I always say tire, S-E-J.
So S-O-S-I-J.
Yeah.
And that's your major way of marketing, isn't it?
Yeah. I think down here, Facebook, everybody just seems to use it. I'm trying to build my website, and I should really crack on with it to put up price lists or such like, but Facebook is such a massive marketing tool down here. It's easier than word of mouth.
Yeah.
It's just phenomenal. It
definitely
just spreads.
With all the Anglo community down here.
I mean, I put up my random posts, and you go and look back to see how many people viewed it, and I look at some of my posts and it's like 2,000 people have viewed it. I don't even do any of the paid advertising on Facebook.
I think you've got a very funny, quirky way to lots of your posts, which is, I love that.
Thank you.
Like the Bacon Boys, we were looking at the fabulous Bacon Boys. I thought, yeah, it's brilliant, a good twist. But how did you get about meeting people when you came here? So you just arrived off your plane and...
I did know the south of France. I used to come here a lot, and I had quite a few friends. I was actually living in Montpellier-la-Napoule at the time, and by good fortune, and that's another thing when you open a business down here, it's the kindness of strangers. By good fortune, somebody put me in touch with Blue Water because they had this galley kitchen they weren't using, and I needed a space. And so I was there, and then somebody suggested we did Sausage Friday for all the students. So that was just, I had 80 people a week I was making sausage baguettes for, and they obviously went off to the boats back home or wherever and said, we had these amazing sausages. So people then approached me, they go, can we have sausages for the boat? Yeah, so that's how it all started, and my key thing, and I hope it is how it carries on, is obviously if there's a chef on a boat, if he introduces my sausages, if he leaves, the boat keeps my sausages going. They say to the new chef, oi, we have sausages. But then the chef goes to a new boat and again introduces my sausages. Yeah. So I'm not at capacity yet on that one. Let's hope it keeps growing.
And what is in place for 2018? What are you thinking about doing next year?
Well, I've been so successful. I'm going to either have to refurb the shop and create a lab, a usine, and change the way the company works slightly, so as I can distribute more.
Which is scary, isn't it? Even after you've been doing it for 4 years, taking that next step up. I'm doing that in mine right now, and you kind of have all those same mindset things that you had right at the beginning.
Yes, you do, and at least this time I think maybe, because when I first opened the shop, I went to the bank for a loan, and I mean, I had no track record. And they just looked at me and went, English sausages and bacon, where are you coming from? I mean, I was like, but there's a €6 million bacon market down here, I've done my research. And they just looked at me and went, we're sorry, love, just a no. So at least I now think if I went back to the bank, they'd go, there's a chance. You kind of just get going on your feet and life is comfortable, and then you go, right, here we go, upheaval, back to poverty, but 3 years' time, this will be worth it, onward and upward.
Yeah, no, I understand that. So it's either going to create a lab here or new premises, something bigger.
Yeah, so like the cost of fitting out here, because I'll have to put a lab upstairs and then, jiggle downstairs to make it look a bit more butchery, cuter looking. So in my head I know what a butcher's shop should look like. Mine doesn't quite look like it. Or that failing, just find somewhere that's already kitted out. But I don't want to lose my little shop.
And all your customers know you're here as well.
Yes, I mean, it's a very friendly little place.
Just so anyone that listening wants to pop by and see you, the road is Boulevard?
This is Boulevard Gustave Chancel. A lot of people, although it's closed at the moment, it's opposite Ronnie Fleur. Quite a lot of people know Ronnie Fleur. Yeah, so it's Boulevard Gustave Chancel, next door to the bar called the Port de France, and it's like Monoprix, corner of Place de Gaulle.
Okay, and so people can probably get your PDF of your price list and everything on...
Yeah, I'll be putting that up onto my Facebook. I've been taking some pictures of my Christmas products. The tearing, sharing sausage roll wreath with a nice like camembert in the middle, so you can dump your sausage rolls in. Yeah, and obviously pigs in blankets. So, and gammon. So I need to take a nice picture of like a glazed gammon. But I mean, I'm a bit of a cook.
What's going to be on Emma's table this year?
What's going to be on my table?
Yeah.
Oh, I go whole hog.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Whole hog, see, there you go again.
That reminds me, I must put my sprouts on. I'll have everything. What I'm going to do this Friday, but we haven't got time, is I'm going to do a Yorkie pud and then put like a Christmas dinner, a Yorkie pud, and then wrap it up so you've got like a burrito wrap Yorkie pud. So there'll be like a parsnip, roast potato, mashed potato, a pig in blanket, some turkey, paxo stuff. I hate to name it, it has to be proper naff. Paxo stuffing and some carrots and some peas and some gravy. It's a small light snack.
For those that can't see, because you know this is obviously audio, we're getting very passionate about this here. I love it. Well, I'm very excited to hear about what's going to be in store for 2018, Emma. And I'll take the PDF, you can send it to me and I'll put it on our website as well, and people can find it there and download it from there too.
Super duper, thank you.
Well, I wish you a very Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time, Emma.
Thank you very much.
This episode was brought to you by Riviera Firefly for Cote Living by your host and my mum, Antonia Beauvoisin-Brown. Please subscribe, like and share. Until the next time, au revoir les Fireflies.